Okay, it is January 21st at 6:24 p.m. New York time. And I just wanted to show a swing trade in the currency market that I just entered here. It's going to be a little bit confusing here. So I am short the US dollar to the Canadian dollar. Now, this chart that we're looking at here, though, is not actually the currency pair. It is a derivative, a futures derivative of the currency pair. So I'm not trading this, and I think I might have said I'm short. I'm long the U.S. dollar, the Canadian dollar to the Canadian dollar, and so I am entering that based upon this chart, but it's a little confusing. This chart is a derivative of the currency, and it's a futures derivative, and the futures derivatives, the charts are inverse the currency pairs. So I like using my Ninja charts, and the problem is I can't trade Ninja. You can't trade currencies on Ninja. So I have to use Thinkorswim, and not to bash Thinkorswim, but personally, I don't care for their charts. So I use my Thinkorswim platform to enter my orders, but I use the charts on Ninja to look at my currencies, but they're all going to be inverse. So if you look at the actual chart of the US dollar to the Canadian dollar, it is exactly the opposite of this. Okay, so you can see why, hopefully then, why I'm going long that currency pair. These trades that I take in currencies are swing trades. I suspect if I don't get stopped out that this trade will go into next week, and I am, let me just give you, I'll go into the details of why I took the trade. However, just see here, I am in this pair at 1.2631. Wait a minute here. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll get back to the price I got into this trade a little bit later. Let's just go through why I got into this trade. When I'm trading currencies, I look first at the daily chart, and I try to find a good reason why on a daily chart I'd want to get into that. Here we can see we've had a very clear trend line and multiple touches on this trend line, and so that's good. It would have been nice to get short right on that, or to get into the trade right on that trend line, but I like to get confirmation. So the next thing I do after looking at that daily chart is I look at the 4-hour chart. And so you can see here what the 4-hour chart looks like. And one of the most important things I'm looking for is what's the potential for my risk to reward on this trade. So let's see, my stop loss is at, so it's not going to correspond to these numbers, but if you actually look at the real currency pair, it'll make sense. My stop loss is at 1.2589, which is just, if you're looking at the actual chart of the currencies, it's up around this area here. My exit is at 1.27436. So, and that'll, like I said, that'll make sense, those numbers, if you actually look at the real currency pairs. And there are free live currency charts that you can just type into your search engine and find real easily. So I looked at that daily chart, then I looked at this hourly chart, this 4-hour chart, and it's looking pretty good. We haven't had a big down 4-hour bar yet, and I would love to see a bar like this. If I get a bar like that, I will probably add to my position. However, we're going to need to get through this little area here. So I need to see some strong downward action here, potentially on the 4-hour chart, for me to add to it. And then this trade, you can see where there's certainly plenty of potential for the trade to come way down here, and then you have a stop loss that's up around this area here. So you can see the risk to the reward is quite good on this trade, and that's what I always want to be looking for. That's the 4-hour chart. And then the next thing I do is I look at the 2-hour chart. I'm looking just to see, is there any reason why I don't want to get in this trade? Is there something that I'm missing? Perhaps there's a big bar that is counter to my trade that's played out, and I don't see it on the 4-hour chart, but I can see it on the 2-hour chart. Well, that isn't the case here. So there's all sorts of ways to manage this trade. Also, I'm short now. Let's say price comes down to this level here. If I want to be very conservative, I could put my stop loss at break even here, but I'm generally not going to do that. I try not to micromanage my currency trades. I had that real good one earlier this week, and there was a big pullback in that trade, and I just let it play out. I thought I'm going to get stopped out. Didn't stop me out, and the pullback stopped, and then the trade went on in my direction. And I posted it on the Facebook page. I posted it live as I entered, and I showed my exit live as I exited. So the 2-hour chart looks okay here. We haven't broke yet, but it looks like a decent area to get in up here with the stop loss up here. Given how far down price can go, I like that. Looks pretty good. The other thing I wanted to point out here is if I was trading, if I was just starting trading, I would probably not start learning on futures. I would learn on currencies for two primary reasons. First of all, you can trade very small with currencies. You don't have as much risk because of the ability to limit your size. Secondly, if you're trading off of these larger charts, you can, it's just easier. You can set your trades. Let's say you're still working your job, so you can set your trade, put what's called your order cancel order in. So I have an OCO order in, so that means I have an order to exit the trade if it comes into this area, and then I have my profit target limit order set. If one of those orders is triggered, it cancels the other order automatically. That's called an OCO order, or I think one cancels one, I think some people call it, but I call it a order cancel order or OCO order. You can set that, and you can still go to work because these trades will go for multiple days. And you can start very small, and then as you become more confident in your ability to pick these trades out, because they're pretty obvious, I think, at least when they're like this. I mean, look at that. What do you want to do here? Where's price probably going to go? Well, maybe it's going to go way up here, but what's the greatest probability? Do you think that there's at least a 60% probability that price is going to come down here? I'd say so. Well, if I'm getting 2, 3, 4 times my risk on trades that are 60% likely to play out in my favor, I can build on that if I'm starting off. So, this is also where my main focus is. For example, with my with my teenage son. You know, this is where I want him to be trading. He is, you know, he's learning futures, but this is a much better way to start off. So we look at the 60-minute chart here. Looks pretty good, and so that's the setup here. And I just wanted to show that to everybody. If you have any questions, maybe maybe I'll take a screenshot of this and post it. So if you have any questions on currencies, they trade in pips, so you can read about it. It's different than futures. If you have any questions, hit me up. Happy to help you out. I'll be sending out free videos soon. Those videos, I hope they help people. I know they're going to help me. Doing these videos is very helpful to me. So that's about it. Have a good evening, and I can't wait to trade tomorrow.